Hello everyone, welcome to another of these Wednesday in the Word devotionals, looking at the Psalms together. I'm going to begin today by reading from our selected Psalm, Psalm 55, and I'm going to read from verse 1. Listen to my prayer, O God. Do not ignore my plea. Hear me and answer me. My thoughts trouble me, and I am distraught at the voice of the enemy, at the stares of the wicked. Continuing in verse 4, my heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death assail me. Now, you might not consider yourself as dramatic a man as David. You might not say words like this or write words like this, but you may very well feel like this. Maybe the current circumstance has got you feeling like this. For David, we learn in this psalm it was because a friend of his had become an enemy and was treating him badly, and so he was distraught. He was in anguish. We might be in anguish. We might be fearful right now because of the COVID-19 crisis or because of other things. You may be fearful or in anguish because of relational difficulties. You may be worried because of other health problems. Now, whatever it is, we can learn from this psalm that Jesus wants us to flee to him, not to run away in any direction. That's what David wants to do at first. The psalm continues like this in verse 6. Oh, that I had the wings of a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. I would flee far away and stay in the desert. I would hurry to my place of shelter, far from the tempest and the storm. Sometimes that's the temptation, isn't it? When struggles come, when trials come, I'm just going to run away as fast as I possibly can. I'm going to ignore it. But you and I both know lots of stuff that's going on at the moment cannot be ignored, cannot be flown away from. So how do we pray in these moments? Well, David described his anguish as a tempest, as a storm. When Jesus walked upon this earth, we saw how God dealt with storms. Two stories in particular come to mind. It's a story where Jesus stills the storm. He stops it. Now we can pray that prayer. We can pray, Jesus, would you stop this storm, please? Would you take this tempest away? And God will sometimes do that. And we can pray that prayer as a church for our nation and for the world. Another situation was when Peter was walking on water. Now in that moment, the wind and the rain was continuing to rage. Yet what Jesus was doing was giving Peter the power to be sustained to walk upon the waves in the storm. Now sometimes in the midst of the tempest, in the midst of the storm, what we need to pray for is that Jesus would give us the strength to be sustained in that trial, sustained in that storm. And this is what David finds as he continues to pray in this psalm. Let me read to you a few more verses. I'll read from verse 16. But I call to God, and the Lord saves me. Evening, morning, and noon, I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice. Continuing in verse 22, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. We might try to run away to many different things during this trial, but if we flee to the Lord, if we cast our cares upon him, we ask him to miraculously stop the storm, and we pray that he may, but we know that even if he does not, he will sustain us in it. He will not let the righteous fall, David continues. And so it feels to me like a good prayer to pray in this season is the prayer of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego as they were about to walk in the fiery furnace. And they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, our God can save us from this furnace. He can make it so we aren't hurt, we aren't killed. But even if he does not, I will not bow down to your statue, to your idol, to other gods. We can pray that prayer, pray, God, I know you can stop this storm. I pray that you would. But even if it continues, Lord, I pray that you would sustain me, strengthen me, and I refuse to flee away, run away to other gods. I will only flee to you. I will cast my cares on you. and you will sustain me. God bless you, and I hope to see you soon.